That's actually why I was like, hey, I got to talk to you today, because it was 2 years ago today. Today is the second anniversary of Robin Williams dying, and that was that final push to where I decided, no, I really got to get on stage. I gotta start doing what I've always wanted to do with my life. Yeah. It's kind of a gut punch of a catalyst, but yeah, that's what it was. Oh, jeez. First day I performed, I ended up not, like, I didn't rush out that next week. I made the decision, I did research, I started looking up where open mics were, I started writing material and deciding, okay, I'm going to get my stuff together, read everything that I could, watched every video I could on it, and I went to this open mic down on the Hollywood Hotel. It's the basement there. It was this open mic is run by Eric Bustamante and Quincy Jones, and I went in and I got 5 minutes there, and I had it in my head I wasn't going to tell people that it was my first time doing it, but then I immediately threw that out the window, let people know, hey, it's my first time. And it's sort of a cheat. It gets people to listen. I got laughs that first time. Like, I got some of the jokes landed pretty well. They had good premise to them. I've had far worse sets than my first set. I think that helped. I think it helped having a good first set, good enough that it made me want to get right back into it. With Robin Williams, it was always a lot of, like, I mean, it's hard to separate, like, his movie stuff, like being Genie or Good Morning Vietnam, things like that. But him watching the bits that I've seen him do of stand-up, like those 1960s, 70s, high off his mind, going crazy, just running into the audience and grabbing a candle off the table and doing quasi-Hamlet stand-up was always something that I loved seeing from him. Like, I always wonder how much of it was improv, how much of it was on the spur of the moment, and how much of that he actually loaded in. Yeah. I love 90s Saturday Night Live. I think that's just a case of, like, I was a teenager when it was on, so that's always going to be what I imprint on. Same with In Living Color of that same era. Best to come out right now is Silicon Valley, like, hands down. Like, that is some amazingly tight writing. It's really good characters that are freakishly close to the real deal. Like, I know a lot of geeks and nerds in the Bay Area, and they're doing the Cupertino stuff, and yeah, that's way too much their life, and it's a smart funny. I like that. And as far as, like, comedic movies, oh geez, all-time, like, favorite comedy movies. Wow, that's man. Because I can go old school. Like, you got Ace Ventura, you got Blues Brothers, you got original Ghostbusters. Those are always, like, things that I obsessed about. Current comedies. Oh, jeez. The most recent one that I'm thinking of is the new Ghostbusters. Like, I saw it recently. Loved that. As far as other stuff, there was The Other Guys. There was original Anchorman, hated the sequel. Original Zoolander, hated the sequel. So yeah, I think those would be some of my more modern ones at this point. Yeah. Oh man, that is a good question. Oh jeez. Like, I gotta lean into my nerddom. Like, this is great. Like, it's a fantasy question. Like, I'd be okay being a feature. Yeah, I'd love to feature for, like, Chris Hardwick or Kumail Najib. I think leaning into my nerdy side would be the best way for me to go there. Yeah. I hate being roasted too. I'm one of those, like, I have a kind of a dickish stage persona, and I'm terrible at, like, getting it thrown back at me. as far as good roasters, I do like Amy Schumer. I do like Hannibal Buress, especially him not knowing who I am. I think would make it fine. Kyle Kinane, the guy who used to have the Comedy Central show about Insomniac, David Tell, and then you wanted 5 on that one, so we round that out with. I'm picking people that don't even know me. Like I could totally just like name drop people that I like and I know, and I think I've gotten too far into that. So now I just have to commit and then say dead or alive. Man, did Mitch Hedberg ever roast? That would be interesting. I would say Mitch then. Next 5 years, currently I'm doing a thing called Nerd Cred, where it's a comedy tour that I put together myself. I put a bunch of nerdy comics together, and we do pop-up shows in comic book shops, in bars, we're doing one in a month where a lot of people play Pokemon Go at midnight, and we're just going to pop up in the middle of it and do a show in the middle of that. Next 5 years, it's going to be a lot of touring colleges, a lot of doing pop-up shows and that stuff. So hopefully people know who I am in 5 years. Yeah. I think eventually I do have to do the acting and improv side of it too. I've been holding off on that, like just focusing on stand-up for now. But yeah, I do want to be an actor eventually. I do like to have a little nugget of them learning something. Like I always disperse weird facts inside of my thing, but mostly I want them to have fun. If I could cause them pain through laughing, that's always ideal. Yeah. Oh, I'm Darren J on Twitter and Darren Gendron on Facebook, and I believe it's DarrenJGendron.com is my website. Hey, I'm Darren Gendron, and check out my interview on thecutiepie.com.